Animal Man number 21, written by Jeff Lemire, art by Steve Pugh and Francis Portela. So, last issue was kind of an interstitial, but it did end with the reveal that Buddy, because of his role in the movie Tights, is being nominated for Best Actor. So, that's a thing. And this issue picks up with this. I don't think there is a name for it, but it is Twitter, but like the alternate version for copyright reasons. And it's just a whole feed of tweets that are all like, oh, Buddy Baker, is he like, he was seen doing this, he's nominated for that, blah, blah, blah. It's a whole bunch of people both supporting and tearing him down. And the tweets continue on to the next page as we see Buddy just sitting alone is in his apartment, and then his phone goes off, and turns out it's his agent Roger. He picks up and he's like, Roger, seriously, don't want to talk right now. Roger's like, okay, I get it, but I'm calling as a friend. Maybe it's time you get out there. Maybe it's time you do anything, literally anything. Just get back to work. Maybe, like, I'm not saying that in a sense of, get back to work like a boss, but like, take your mind off things, because you're not in a good place, Buddy. And Buddy's like, you know what? You're right. Maybe I do need to get back to work, as he eyes his Animal Man costume. And his agent's like, oh, cool, I'll set up an interview. We'll get you a haircut, get you a shave. But then he just turns off the phone and flies away as Animal Man. So then we go to Sacramento, where Maxine and her mom are staying with her grandma. And they're basically, we get the mom, I keep blanking on the name. I think it's Ellen. I could be wrong. I'm going to say Ellen. Where Ellen's just like, I can't let Maxine be around Buddy right now. Like, I know she needs her father, and like, I eventually have to deal with that, but like, I'm not okay with dealing with that right now. I can't bear to look at Buddy anymore because of what happened to Cliff. So she's going to have to be okay without seeing her dad for at least just a little while until I can manage to get there. And we see Maxine as she's supposed to be asleep, but she's talking to Socks, and she's basically saying, like, I don't know why my mom's not letting me use my powers or go look for Cliff. Seems like that would be super awesome to be able to do, to just bring him back, but whatever. Now I have to use my powers in secret. So Socks leads her into the land of the Red straight out of her bedroom, and she arrives wearing an Animal Man costume, which she calls herself Animal Girl. And she comes across Shepard, and Shepard's like, oh, hey, how's it going? Long time no see. And she's like, yeah, no, great. Hey, did you talk to the totems about that thing I wanted you to talk about? And he's like, sure did. They want to talk to you in person. Something you need to know, though, they're a little bit temperamental. After the whole Rot World thing, they're kind of a bit testy, so maybe don't come in there guns a-blazing. And she's just like, I don't care. They're going to help me find my brother, and they're going to like it. And everyone's just like, oh God, she's going to get killed. So we see this lady with a whole bunch of cat toys all around her. And that is something that was in the Twitter feed, was a couple mentions of pet abductions in the area. So we see this lady get a knock at her window, and it's Animal Man with the newspaper saying, like, hey, newspaper says that you were the last victim who had her pets abducted. Mind you, this lady's freaking out because she's an Animal Man fan. She's like, oh my God, you're Buddy Baker. This is incredible. This is fine. He's like, yeah, no, totally great. Anyway, I want to help you find your cats. You said you had 4 of them and they were all gone. And she's like, yeah, no, totally. What do you need? He's like, just give me like a toy and I'll just do like a bloodhound thing and like track him down. And she's like, perfect. This belonged to Mr. Whisker Faces. Please help me find him. He's like, will do. And he goes to fly off. But as he's leaving, she snaps a picture and shares it on Twitter, which then we have this thing for the rest of the book where pretty much each panel has an accompanying tweet where it's either praising or bashing or just spreading rumors about Buddy. And like, does he deserve Best Actor? Is he in the area? Did he kidnap all those pets? And it's like the best representation I've seen of how stupid the internet can get very quickly. So he flies out to an industrial district, and as he arrives, he gets this screaming pain in his head of just all of these different animals, not just pets, but like gorillas and zebras and stuff, and it is driving him crazy. But first we go back into the Red, where Maxine is talking to the totems, and they're like, hey, how's it going, Maxine? We're happy to see you here again. And she's like, why didn't you bring me in sooner? I wanted to talk to you guys. And they go on this very verbose thing of like, oh, you must understand, after your father and blah, 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 and the world, it's a very trustworthy time. And she's like, I didn't understand a word of what you just said. So listen up. I came here to find my brother, and I'm going to bring him back. You got a problem with that? And they're like, not really. You're going to have to like understand how things work around here first, because you can't just do that. So here, like, the real reason we wanted to talk to you today is that your dad made it seem like you're going to be angry with us over like everything that happened. And we just want to know, are you cool with still being our totem? And she's just like, if you guys want to teach me how to be Animal Girl and like do all that stuff and whatever, I'm fine with that. But two rules. One, it has to be at night when I'm supposed to be asleep. Two, I'm going to still go looking for my brother. That is a complete non-negotiable thing. And 2.5, Socks and Shepherd are going to be my like buddies who are going along with me. They're going to be my pals. And the totems are like, yeah, okay, we're good with that. That's great. And she's like, great, awesome. So let's get started. Anyway, back to the buddy story. He disconnects from his powers just to shut off the screaming. And he's like, okay, well, that was messed up. Let me explore this place a little bit. And as he goes down to the basement, he sees a lab with just piles of animals that are dismembered and cut apart. And just, it is not a good time. And he hears a noise upstairs, so he runs back upstairs to check it out. And he sees this horrifying creature that seems like a patchwork of just all these different animals, and he's like, what are you doing in my factory? So fight breaks out between them. Buddy's like, oh god, what have you done, you sick bastard? The creature throws a punch at Buddy and manages to escape. And all this time, tweets are going off that are basically saying like, oh, Buddy's in the industrial park. Oh, he's hunting down these pets. He's doing that. So they're like real-time doxing him. So as Buddy runs out of this warehouse, he is immediately met by an entire horde of paparazzi that are like, oh, is this just a publicity stunt for your next movie? By the way, did you abduct all those animals? How's your dead son? You know, stuff like that. That's the issue. It's a page turner. It's a good book. I was really concerned because I always heard people talking about Animal Man in the New 52 as the Rot World arc, and then nothing after that. I never hear anybody talking about what comes after that. And that's, I mean, part of the reason I did this show. But I'm happy that they're still continuing. You know, it doesn't feel like the Rot World ended and then it's just a hard cut to, and then these other stories happen. This feels like the natural progression of not only Buddy, but also Maxine and like Ellen and all the characters. It feels like, okay, Rot World happened, death of a son. How do we continue from there? And it feels natural, it feels good, and I'm interested on top of it because it's kind of taking the stakes back down a little bit. Like, it still feels important because everything else going on in his life right now is just kind of out of whack. So doing this tiny little thing is critical for him to be able to just be, but it's just finding missing pets, which of course, you know, it's some weirdo who's cutting up animals. So obviously it's not as simple as that, but I like that it started off as that. He didn't go looking for this huge threat to the red or whatever. It's just this tiny little finding pet story. I love that. So overall, art's great. Still very grotesque. Top notch on that. Writing, I really enjoyed it. I like the Twitter posts all throughout. It adds a little bit of extra detail to what otherwise would have just been a silent scene where he's walking through a warehouse. It's better than narration boxes of him just saying like, I'm so upset that my son is dead. You let Twitter do that instead, and it adds this extra thing of paparazzi to it, which is great writing. Anyway, enough from me. 8.5. It's a super solid issue. It's a great part one to this. It's called Splinter Species arc. I'm super interested in it, and I'm looking forward to seeing how we go forward.